Hello, Abigail here with another pick of pile reading. This pick of pile reading is your next 3 months. This is a timeless reading. I will go through each pile and the little signifier on top of it. If you already know your pile that you want, you can go pop down and click on the timestamp. But yeah, starting off, we have an iron nail. Iron is a very potent tool and element in witchcraft. We have this yes or no divination coin. Came in one of my newest tarot decks that we're actually going to use for this pile today, which is the Four Quartz Tarot. And then we have this lapis lazuli, Jesus, cabochon. It's very beautiful. It's a very powerful manifesting stone. So take a moment, make your selections, and we'll move into the predictions for your next 3 months. Hello, pile number 1. These are your oracle cards that we're going to dive into, and this is the tarot deck that we are going to use to dive even further. So just a heads up, I do not know what is in this pile. I blind pull it so that we can discover what it is together. But let's start off. What is the theme? What are the kind of, I don't know, my mind's blinking now all of a sudden. What are the themes? What are the predictions? What are the things that are coming into your life in the next 3 months? Starting off, we have success. Ooh, we love to see that. So we get to start with success. I am loving this for pile number 1. We'll do the other tea leaves. Lightning, control your anger or you will be sorry. Interesting. Finger, warning of a problem either now or in the near future. Oh, these are interesting. And feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. Okay, so you have success, but we're dealing with a lot of other issues in here as well. I want to pull the unicorn one, which is prosperity. Okay, so this is very aligned. A gift of money is on its way. Your income is increasing. Manage your finances with love. That off to the side here. Then I want to look at our water oracle. Ooh, the water oracle. Well, I mean, I know the deck is, what's the deck called again? It's Healing Waters Oracle, but we literally, as I say water oracle, pull it. Psychic abilities, acting on visions, it is destined. So your success is destined. And it also sounds like you're acting in divine alignment. Sacred well, replenishment, self-care, and giving from a place of plenty. So definitely feeling as though we're really having to set boundaries in this season. I am going to move, I think, a few of these over so we have space for the tarot and these babies. Then we have new moon in Gemini, connection is key. And the full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. Okay, so success is on its way, but it definitely feels, we have lightning and then the full moon in Aries, it definitely feels as though there are some things to get through in the next 3 months before we get to success. But let's dive in. Let me see. How do I want to organize this so that we have room? Give me a second to get this all worked out. I actually want to put success down here. There we go. We'll put feather, lightning, and the finger up here. And we'll put these two over here. Okay, so success is definitely coming in the next 3 months for you. Prosperity is coming in. You are being divinely guided and really, putting in the spiritual work. Definitely feels like we're dealing with conflict, though. We're having to kind of clean house when it comes to unreliable folks. Excuse me while I take a drink. And, there are some issues to be worked out with the finger here. And this all, I think, kind of ends in some kind of fiery climax, as it says. But because you are acting from a place of self-care and of love and you are setting boundaries, the climax isn't necessarily super bad. It just means some people are leaving your life, and specifically the people who refuse to learn to communicate with you. So overall, this is really good. You just are going to have to kind of bolster yourself up when it comes to protecting yourself, when it comes to boundaries, when it comes to, making sure that people aren't mistreating you. Interesting. I'm going to add those back in. I was going to pull from that pile, but let's see what the tarot has to say about the progression of this. Yeah. So we have Nine of Wands. There is definitely in the next 3 months going to be a point at which, so it definitely feels like you're going to be like, so that 3 month reading is not happening. And it's like, no, it is happening. But you have some stuff in the next 3 months that you really have to get through with the Mother of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, nice. So yeah, all of this season, especially with like the sacred well, with replenishment and self-care and giving from a place of plenty, is very Mother of Pentacles. You need to take care of yourself first before you take care of others. And the people who are aligned are going to understand that boundary. They're going to understand that that is important for you. They're going to understand that that is healthy. And in the long run, it is going to end up in a Ten of Cups where you actually find more aligned folks, more people who are interested in what you're interested in, more people who respect your boundaries and who can participate in a healthy way. But we definitely are having to clear house a bit to remove and release any of these other people who are kind of getting in the way. Because otherwise, 2 cards. Star, Eight of Pentacles. Now, this success, even though we're clearing people, yes, even though we are clearing out old people, this success is from stuff you have been working on. So it's not like it's not necessarily going to be like a brand new thing is going to break loose. And you're going to be like, oh, wow, amazing. You are going to have been working on this stuff. We also have the Star. This is a divinely guided, very much with the Water Oracle over here. This is a divinely guided path. You need to listen to your ancestors. You need to be listening to, I'm actually specifically hearing you might want to seek out a psychic medium or a tarot reader or an astrologer to get insight as to how to move ahead in this path as like a support, because you are going to have to navigate some difficult stuff. Also, control your anger or you will be sorry. Learning to regulate and not to let people upset you. Not that, you don't deserve to feel upset, but like, don't spend your energy, which is very Nine of Wands, on people who are not going to change, on people who don't respect you, on people who refuse to show up as honestly as you do. With the Empress, this is also a sign that like you need to stick to your goals. There's really nothing you really need to shift or adjust about your dreams. It's just the people who are around you. It's just being able to like actually grow and flourish is only going to happen when we are surrounded by love and care. So definitely in the next 3 months, stay true to your desires. Obviously, if you need to be a bit flexible, please be flexible. Like, don't get so dogged that you can't shift when something needs to shift, but there's no big overhaul of what you're, desiring at this point. It is simply you needing to kind of clear the room and really, believe and dig into those manifestations and like, believe that they are possible and throw like delusion even I'm getting behind it. And then, yeah, we have Two of Cups, Eight of Cups, which is very much an affirmation of needing to clear the house when it comes to people and connections. With this moment, like Two of Cups by itself, yay, lovely new people are coming in. And I do think they're coming in eventually. I think more towards the end of this 3 months. But specifically, you need to walk away from relationships that aren't good. I think for some of you, this is actually a romantic breakup. But I think this applies to you if in this moment you're like, oh no, because you've felt it coming. If it doesn't apply to you and everything's hunky-dory, actually hunky-dory. I say actually because a lot of my clients are like, it's great. And then we talk about it and I'm like, define great because it doesn't sound very nice. If everything is actually fine in your relationship and you don't feel like this applies to you, it doesn't apply to you. But for several of you, it's going to be you leaving a romantic relationship because they are the nearest and dearest to you and they are cramping your style and being undependable and insincere, which gross. We really hate that. And I think that is definitely that warning of a problem in the near future. It's going to be this fast, fiery climax approaching. And the reason I'm kind of harping on romance is because of the size of the energy I'm feeling. If it's not romance, then it is a friend that is so close to you that losing them will upset the routine of your daily life. We do have a Nine of Cups though. In the end, you'll be extremely happy. And I kind of love how this is lined up. We have Nine of Wands, the Star, and the Two of Cups. Once you get through this, divine relationships and connections are coming back in. But we do have to do the work, protect ourselves, and let things go in order to get to this kind of dreams can come true, Empress, Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups, so much magic energy. And if we're looking at this as like a progression of linear time, we have, standing up for ourselves, letting people go. And then by the end of the 3 months, we are very well on our way to attaining many lovely things. So it's a pretty fast turnaround, to be honest. Now, do you get everything in the 3 months? No, but you are definitely headed towards prosperity, abundance, giving from a place of plenty, all of these beautiful things. I do think the key in all of this is your ability to communicate. Like, we can't just be like ditching people and not telling them why, or not trying to, have a communication before we end something to kind of let the person know why we're choosing to walk away. I will say the one caveat here is like if they are dangerous in any way, then that's not required. But in any other relationship where you genuinely care about someone, make sure that you're, ending things gracefully. We pull a final 3 messages. Yes, the Tower, Son of Pentacles. So yeah, big affirmation on continuing to pursue your dreams. Not a huge surprise because we have the fiery climax, and this is a fiery climax if I've ever seen one. But the next 3 months does have a really big Tower moment in it. I sense that some of you might already be in your Tower moment because it's so close to the beginning of the reading. With the Son of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, you continuing to pursue your current manifestations is going to lead you to new manifestations that are even bigger, bolder, more expansive than your other ones. But it's not you changing your manifestation. It's you naturally kind of following the progression of, if you believe in this thing, then you naturally will believe in you deserving another thing. And it builds and builds and builds until you're like, oh, I deserve everything, which you absolutely do. So for this pile number 1, you do need to be ready in the next 3 months to, have a bit of a different experience, to lose people, to go through some pretty big changes. But all of this is happening to clear the air for your success, which is absolutely not going to happen if you hold on to stuff. And how, like I say with most of my readings, I can do all these readings as much as I want and they can align beautifully. But if you don't accept the energy and participate with the universe, the timeline will be different, the outcomes will be different. So if you truly want change, you have to honestly participate in conflict. You have to let people go. You have to release things. That's just kind of, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You also have to communicate your feelings. Doesn't mean everyone has to go, but those who are not willing to communicate are not for you. I'm going to sit for 1 minute to see if there's any other messages coming through. But I do feel like this is pretty good. I'm going to pull one more card. See, what is the message for you right now? Right at the beginning of this 3-month cycle. 7 of Pentacles. Daughter of Wands. I'm going to pull another 3. What the heck? And the Hanged One. Yeah, this process is you continuing to do what you've been doing, being authentic, and letting the universe work on your behalf. I don't think that this Tower moment is going to necessarily be set off by you. You simply, Son of Pentacles, have to participate in it. With the Daughter of Wands, it's more about you being true to yourself than you burning things to the ground. Because the universe is going to kick all of these things off for you. You just have to participate honestly and then make the right choices. And the right choices are centering yourself as the person that affects you the most. And other people, I can guarantee, are centering themselves as well, which balances things out nicely. But the kind of message of now is for you to be authentic, let the universe cook, and to really continue to do the small, mundane, day-to-day stuff that you have been doing towards your dreams. And the universe is going to take that and really shift and change stuff as you navigate the conflict in your life. Anyways, my loves, that is my reading for you. I hope it was beneficial. I hope it gave you some direction and some hope, because even though there is conflict in this reading, there are some really lovely things coming for you in the next 3 months. Anyways, my dears, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It helps this channel to grow. If you have any questions or comments, put them below. I would love to hear from you. If there are any subjects you would like me to do a reading on, and specify what type of reading, wax, astrology, tarot, and let me know and I'll incorporate it into a future reading. Anyways, many blessings, my pile number one. Bye. Hello, pile number two. This is your reading. You chose this yes or no coin. I'm actually going to do a 1-question toss for you guys. Warning, it will probably be really loud on the table, so just be prepared. If the microphone picks it up and it's jarring, maybe turn down the sound, but I'm going to flip this for you. But this is your pile, and we're going to use this deck to suss out kind of the deeper themes. So let's do I want to do this way? I think I do. We'll see if I hurt my finger because it is pretty hefty. But take a moment, ask a question, and we'll get a yes or no answer. Give you a pause. The answer is no. So put that over there. Little no for you. And then let's get into what the next 3 months are bringing for you. So starting off, we have your astral house, wealth. Nice. And also, just a heads up, I don't look at any of the cards beforehand. I just let the universe pick them and we discover them together. Your unicorn card is nature. Ground yourself. Find a sanctuary in nature. Connect with the elementals. Nice. That's really beautiful. Wealth, nature, abundance. What do I want to pull next? Let's do these. Clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. So we have some lovely divine timing going on. We have the Selkie. Come out of hiding, embrace who you really are. The Selkie is a mythological creature that can transform into a beautiful woman, but is also a seal. Then we're going to pull these. So I randomly pulled a month of a year, which I didn't for any other pile, but I went with it. So we have March as an important month for you guys. Doesn't have to be in the 3-month period, but there's something special there. So keep it in mind. And also we'll talk about other things. Candle, you will be shown away with clear vision and confirmation. Very nice. Flute, disappointment in a friend or a lover. That's interesting because that was kind of something that came up in the last reading, pile number 1. So if you feel aligned with that pile as well, I would suggest looking into it. So don't let your past hold you back with the South Node. And then time to release negativity with the full moon in Scorpio. Okay. So wealth is the topic here, but a lot of it is about authenticity, moving forward, connecting to nature. Also, a part of connecting to nature is connecting to the honesty of nature, connecting to the raw quality of nature, which is very true to itself. Like nature does not lie. So there's a lot of elements of not necessarily wealth coming through a hyper focus on wealth, but wealth coming through in you finding clarity and connection to the world around you, and also you allowing yourself to shine with this Selkie. And also the time to release negativity feels like that, maybe that relationship or friendship, that lover or friend that's kind of going out of our life in the next 3 months. It says disappointment, so maybe they don't necessarily leave, but I'm kind of feeling that they might be, because that's kind of how the last reading was. So starting off, we have strength. Nice. I really love this deck. It's a new deck. Pardon me as I take a drink. I have been talking for a minute at this point. Page of Cups. Move that baby down. So I have space. The Lovers. Interesting. Especially considering we're looking at disappointment. But there's not really much disappointment here yet, but we'll find out. So with the Strength card, there is an element of perseverance. It's also the associated with Leo. So there's something about a Leo or Leo season in here. It's important. Also, the number 8 is coming through as an important number. We have the Page of Cups and the Lovers. There's some kind of message this season with the Page of Cups that is really going to help us find connection and care and connect to the right people. The lovers doesn't always necessarily mean romance. In fact, it often is about connecting to ourselves or finding a place where we fit through our own uniqueness and creativity. It's like a little puzzle piece. So we're going to dig a little deeper. I do think it's interesting that we have disappointment in a friend or a lover here, and then we get the lover's card. So we'll see what the universe has to say about that. But there's some kind of message about you with the lovers coming here and representing Gemini. It feels also as though you are kind of realizing that you are not necessarily being authentic, which is very much what we're seeing in the Selkie card about you, being who you really are and kind of coming out um, as your authentic self. I get for some of you, this might be literally coming out when it comes to a gender or sexual identity. And that might tie very well into the disappointment in a friend or a lover, because that's a difficult topic. I also think with March, we have the snowdrops here. Snowdrops are a protective symbol. There is an element of like newness coming into your life with the spring. I do think something important is happening in March. It may not be necessarily in this 3-month period that you are going to be in the month of March. If it is, clear sign. If it's not, there is some measure of rebirth involved here. Ooh, we have the devil. 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, cards are getting out of control. Okay, well, they want us to take these. So we will. I will save these for a second, just so we can kind of talk through the first 3 cards here. Yeah, you have got to let go of something that's tying you down. You definitely do. It feels like there, especially with the lovers over here and the 2 of Cups, there might be a relationship or connection that you're obsessed with or that you are hyper fixating on. Not necessarily a bad thing, just, too much. And you need to redirect that energy into yourself, into being authentic, into feeding and nurturing yourself, into giving yourself care. I do think romance, because these are stacked, is definitely here after I give my long explanation about what the lovers can mean. The universe is like, no, love is involved in the next 3 months. I am going to look at these cards specifically to see what the quality of that is. But I think you becoming more clear with who you are and what you want and being yourself, you are going to know better what you want in love and in connection. Can also be a reconnection with someone, but definitely after you have worked through this disappointment, because that's not fun. With you will be shown the way. There is an element of you being guided by the universe in this season, but you do have to connect to yourself and connect to your own intuition in order to be guided. I think that connection definitely comes through nature. So being outside, if you can't get outside much, hanging out with a houseplant. But or going, if you can go on a hike, get near water, especially with clear waters here for clear vision confirmation, right timing and opportunity, just being open to stuff. And it definitely feels like your relationships might be getting in the way. Like there are people in your life right now who, if something good happened for you, might try to block that in order to keep you stuck where you are so that they can remain in the exact same dynamic with you as they are now, which just is not healthy. So we're going to look at these cards for the love. We have the 7 of Wands and the Empress. Yeah, so with the 7 of Wands and the Empress, which I'm going to stack these babies on top of each other, love is not going to come in until you choose yourself. Love is going to continue to be a struggle until you pick you, until you become authentically you, until you allow yourself to shine, until the people who want you to stay small are no longer in your life. It's very much a time to release negativity with the Scorpio full moon. Like, you gotta release the people who are like haters. And those haters, it definitely feels like, might be people close to you who are just afraid of you growing because you might outgrow them. And here's the deal: if they truly loved you, they would grow with you. And it doesn't feel like they're necessarily wanting to do that. We have the King of Swords and the 9 of Wands. Yeah, so this season is definitely going to be a series of like climaxes where you kind of get pushed to an edge and you're forced to kind of act. Also, with the King of Swords, this is blunt, forward action, severing ties, really listening to yourself and your own logic and intuition. With the Nine of Wands, it really ties back to this Seven of Wands of like, the good stuff's not going to happen until you stay true to yourself. Until you say, no, thank you, I'm not doing this, and demand that people respect you for who you are, it's not going to happen. So if you want to see the wealth, you've got to really love yourself, which that came out as like a weird little idiom, but whatever. So yeah, you have to release your obsession with others. You, in the very least, need to be obsessed with yourself as a main character. Other people in relationships are beautiful and good, and they will be coming in, but they only can come in these next 3 months if you commit to yourself, if you focus on yourself, your own career, your own desires, your own growth, and remembering that if you grow and if you lose people because you grow, other people are going to come in. Very much don't let your past hold you back with the South Node here. But yeah, there's a huge potential in this season to like have really aligned, divinely guided growth. But the thing that's getting in your way is other folks holding you back. Oh, I love this so much. Yes, we have the Star, we have the Six of Pentacles, reciprocation, divine guidance. What was I just saying? And the Ace of Swords. Yeah, there's so many new opportunities coming your way in the next 3 months. New connections, new love, new reciprocation, places in which you were like met and loved and adored. But you can't get that with the people you're with. And especially with clear waters, and you will be shown the way with Candle. In this reading, the people coming to mind are the people blocking you. And you're going to have to seriously think if keeping them in your life is worth blocking your own progress. And here's the deal. If they are truly meant to be in your life, you becoming yourself is not going to drive them away, right? So there's a really strong call in here for you to really commit to and listen to yourself and your own body, to prioritize your well-being. If there is a job that might mean that you spend less time with someone for a little bit and they're like, oh no, don't take the job because we can't hang out anymore. Unfortunately, that's not how this works. Like, you need to take the thing that works best for you. Same with any other opportunity. I also just love the Star. It always comes in to remind us that we are divinely protected, that our ancestors are listening. You know, your ancestors believe in better for you. They believe in closer relationships. They also believe, I'm hearing, especially with the wands, they're like, you could have more pleasure in your relation, in your spicy relationships. And with this Ace of Swords, there are opportunities for new people to come in. There are opportunities for maybe old connections to be transformed into new connections. This doesn't necessarily mean that we're clearing house completely, but you do need to reset the precedent, and that is probably going to drive some people away. And you just have to be ready to accept that. It kind of, this whole reading is reminding us that we got to know at the beginning, which is never a great thing to hear unless we ask like a negative question. So it does feel like a no, but it's a no that then turns into a yes, but only after we've done some house cleaning and only after we've removed people. I personally think that the question you asked, if it was about a specific person, isn't a no to the thing. Like, so if you're like, will I be with this person? You will be with someone, just not that person. Or if it was a like, will I get this job? You will get a job, but not that job, is definitely what I'm hearing. We have the Nine of Swords as our kind of final guidance, Hierophant, and the Eight of Cups. This is interesting because we also got the Eight of Cups, Nine of Wands, Empress in the last reading, interestingly, and the Two of Cups. So like I said earlier, if you are feeling, and the Star actually, if you are feeling attuned, and also the theme was kind of similar. If you're feeling attuned to that, go watch pile number 1. But with the Nine of Swords and the Hierophant and the Eight of Cups, you are very afraid of what will happen if you allow people to make their own choices. If you don't overwork to keep them interested in you. And the answer is people who love you will stay. And with the Hierophant, you are just growing and changing, and you have been suppressing your growth and your, excuse me, and your like well, what I'm hearing is you're crushing your exponential growth to stay small for someone who's not aligned with you, is what I'm specifically hearing. And this doesn't have to be a romantic partner, it can also be a friendship, but there is someone who wants you to stay small because they are not ready to grow, and this is just not going to work for you. You need to lock in with the Hierophant and not in a mean way, but grow up a bit and be like, there are better connections out there for me if people around me are not willing to, in the very least, let me grow and change. Um, so, yeah, the next 3 months is bringing wealth. That wealth is going to be brought to you through you becoming clear on who you are, what you want, connecting to nature, listening to your psychic abilities, trusting in the universe and in ancestors, and letting people go who are not aligned. And I'm kind of being drawn back to the flute. Like, just because someone disappoints you doesn't mean your connection is over, but I get the sense this is kind of a pattern. So if it's a pattern, it is time to change the pattern. And if you can change the pattern, love will find a way, and so will wealth. Anyways, my loves, this is my reading for pile number 2. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow. I'd love to hear any comments or any questions you have in the comment section, so pop that down there. Also, if you have any specific reading you would like done, whether it be astrology, tarot, or wax, definitely let me know, and I will try to incorporate it into a future video. Anyways, thank you all so much. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. This is your reading. You chose the Lapis Lazuli Cabochon. Put it off to the side. A very beautiful, powerful manifesting stone. Just a heads up, in case you're new here, I do not look at these cards before I read them. We get to experience them together. Also, we're going to use this tarot deck to explore even deeper into the themes of these oracle cards. So starting off, Astral House, career. So this reading and the next 3 months are all about your career. Interestingly enough, all of the other piles were very much like wealth, success, very kind of like career, success, money driven. So if you feel aligned with any of the other readings, there actually might be something in there for you. I'm going to start with the unicorn card, strength. Ooh, this is a very spicy unicorn. This challenge will make you stronger. You will get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in the situation. Okay, so this might be a bit of a tense reading. this unicorn is giving very spicy energy, but we'll see what the other cards have to say before we make a call on that. Cleansing, releasing old energetic tune-up, new beginnings. That feels aligned. The Pearl, alchemy, reward at the end, from grit to grace. Yeah, so this is a tense one. I encourage you not to run. If you're like, no, I can't handle tenseness, you are probably in a tense time, so buckle up. It's going to be okay. A win-win outcome is in the forecast. Yes, here we go. Surrender to the divine. So this situation is going to break in the next 3 months, but it does feel like you're in something pretty tense. Let's see what the tea leaves say. Lobster, financial pinch. Oops, yep. Casket, someone is going out of your life or the end of a situation. Yep, involvement with the law. Okay, so this is a pretty serious one. On the bright side, it does feel, well, not even feel. You are going to get through this and you are going to win. There's a win-win outcome in the forecast. We have from grit to grace, new beginnings, but the next 3 months are going to be tough. If you are currently in tough times, I would say this pile is for you. It feels like this is an ongoing situation. Stuff is happening, involvement with the law. Someone is going out of your life at the end of a situation. It's also a casket, which is pretty grim, and a financial pinch. But it feels like, especially with this being kind of our last card, it feels like you're going to come out on the other side as the winner, but you are definitely in it, and it's definitely tough. And a lot of this has to do with your career and your life, kind of like what you do as far as work and labor. Let's take a look at the cards. That's an interesting card to pull. I will also say, when I was shuffling this deck to kind of put it on the table, I also saw the Eight of Cups, which was in every other reading, as like a little flash. It was flashed by the deck. So there is an element of walking away from something. Okay, so we have Nine of Cups. So the goal of this entire process is for you to get your dreams, is for you to end up where you want. However, Temperance, Five of Skins. So in this deck, songs are cups, skins are wands, honey is pentacles, and dreams are swords, just so you know. But with the Five of Skins and Temperance, there is a difficult situation that you have to find balance in, that you have to learn to flow with. Also, with the Strength, you know, you are going through a challenge that will make you stronger. That is very Temperance vibes. And, you know, look for the gifts in the situation, also very Temperance. Like finding the balance in something. Also, we have the full moon in Libra, which is also about balance and also about flow and finding a middle point. And so there's an element here of you needing to kind of find your way through drama, through conflict, through stress. Pardon me while I take a little sip of water. Let's see what else is coming through. Ooh. The Lovers. Interesting. The Empress. Empress also was in every single deck. There are a lot of repeats this reading. The Devil. Yeah, we're either getting repeats in one or another pile, or we're getting repeats across the board. The Empress was in every single pull. The Eight of Cups was in every single pull. The Lovers was in pile number 2. The Devil was also in pile number 2. So if pile number 2 really feels like it also resonates, go check that as well. So with the Lovers, the Empress, and the Devil, we got to let someone go. Whether they stay or not is not really up to us, but we have to release someone. With the Devil, there's a bit of an obsession here. There's a bit of like, it feels like you're almost pinning your success on someone else's success or on someone else's participation in your life. And that's just not the case here. With the Empress, you are going to be the one kind of leading the way in your own life and in your own success and in your own progress. And you're kind of selling yourself short by thinking that you can't do this without someone else's help. Now, here's the deal. We all need community. We all need love. But it does feel like you've gotten kind of stuck in a place where you are relying on other people in a way that's not necessarily community based, but more of like an obsession or more of like a, if I don't have this person, I won't be able to succeed. And the truth is, that's not the case. We also have involvement with the law and someone going out of your life. Just a heads up, this isn't legal advice. If you need legal advice, please contact a lawyer. But it does feel like things are going to work out. But with all of these cards, you know, you do definitely have to kind of push things forward, make sure you're on time with anything that you're required as far as paperwork, be keeping records, be coming up with some kind of defense or retort when it comes to whatever's going on, when it comes to the law. You are going to win, but you do have to stand up for yourself. Then we have the Ace of Skins, so the Ace of Wands, Seven of Songs, Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Dreams, so Nine of Swords. So yeah, new stuff is coming in, and this situation is going to open up tons of possibilities that were never possible before, that you would never have imagined. With the Nine of Dreams, there is going to be a bit of anxiety around like, oh, I don't really want options. I wanted that one safe option I had earlier, but here's the deal. That option was not safe and was also not the only option, just so you know. But as far as hope goes, you know, look forward to the fact that you are going to have options, even if it might be a bit stress inducing, and it will be an opportunity to learn from past mistakes and to not make old ones kind of reoccur. Also, with the Lovers and the Ace of Skins, you know, we're definitely looking at, you know, incoming new people. There might be a bit of stress here too, because you're like, especially with the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Dreams, when you first meet someone new, you're like, what are their intentions? Are they actually my friend? You know, do they actually want to spend time with me? Am I misreading the signs? And so that might be a bit stressful. But remember that these people, you know, this whole process is divinely guided, and we are surrendering to the divine with this full moon here. And so trusting your instincts when it comes to other people, even if in the past they haven't been so great. You have been working on honing your skills. We are listening to the universe more. We are cleansing things. We are allowing stuff to be released in this moment. And so have faith in yourself a little bit. We also have the Lobster, which has kind of gotten hidden here, which is a financial pinch. Yeah, money is going to be a bit tight. I do want to kind of ask about that because this is about career. Also, with the someone going out of your life at the end of a situation, it feels like it might be the end of a job. And I want to ask about that because that can be really stress inducing. Yep. Three of Dreams or Three of Swords. Oof. Five of Cups, King of Skins. So, King of Wands. Yeah, I do think we're looking at a job loss here. And a lot of grief around it. However, we do have win-win in the forecast, and we started off with the Nine of Cups. All of this is hard, but this job has been keeping you from your hopes and dreams. These connections, these people have been blocking your blessings. And while you do need to grieve any betrayal or any loss, with the King of Wands, you are coming out so much better than before. Just so you know. Like, it is going to be stressful, it's going to be hard, but on the other side, you are going to find some really magical wins and successes. Yeah, Six of Honey. Reciprocation, care, a job where you are respected and loved. We have Nine of Skins here. You've got to stick to your guns. And the Eight of Dreams, which is the Eight of Swords, you've got to stick to your guns. You have got to stand up for your desires. You have been pushed around a lot lately. With the Eight of Dreams, you definitely feel stuck. But we do have the Six of Pentacles or Six of Honey coming in to remind us that we deserve reciprocation, that we deserve care in all settings, work included, in our careers. I do want to see when this breaks because it is a very tense situation, and if I was receiving this reading, I would want to know okay, so it's going to be hard. When does it get easier? When does it learn? Well, just remember it is happening in the next 3 months. Queen of Honey, Four of Honey, and the Magician. Okay, so it is going to get better quite quickly. I think with the four in the center, it is right on the tail end of the 3-month period, moving into 4 months almost. But abundance is coming in. You are going to be seen and celebrated for who you are. We also have the Empress buried in here as well, which is kind of like a higher frequency of the Queen of Honey, in my opinion. We have the Four of Honey. You're going to be able to put away stuff. Oh, we do have the nips here, so I will cover that up because YouTube can be sensitive about titties. Also ironic with what I just covered her with, but maybe YouTube won't notice. Oh, yes. So we are going to have some money at the end. It'll be kind of the beginning process of saving, but we have the Magician. So new opportunities by the end of 3 months will be coming in, new money, new connections. The feeling of stuckness will be gone. You will have claimed your power back. Will have gone through this grieving process, and stuff is going to be coming up nicely for you. And believe me, I know how stress-inducing this all can be. Life, if we're talking about careers, I've done 5 bajillion different things, and that's very stressful as well. I sense a lot of you are also in the same boat. Yeah, things are going to start moving specifically towards the end of the 3 months. Yeah, you have to go through the death process first. But we have the Queen of Skins, King of Skins, the Three of Skins. Progress is coming. Magic is happening. You sticking to your guns when it comes to what you deserve and what you believe in, and allowing situations to end and clear. Your financial situation is going to get better. Your friendships are going to get better. Your romantic life is going to get better. You are going to end up in a job or a career situation that is going to be more attuned with you. And just realized we got more. I love this deck and I love the nudity, but YouTube is so puritanical. Also, they don't care about this nip showing. Anyways, we're not going to talk about YouTube restrictions. But there is shift and change happening in the 3 months. It definitely feels closer to the 3-month point when things start to give. You are going to be asked to change. You are going to be asked to release and let things go in this moment. Know that you will win, specifically when it comes to any legal stuff you're going to go through. You might not know what it is yet, but it is up and coming. But once you are through the death process, so much opportunity, so much abundance, so many connections. So pile number 3, do not give up. Hold on to hope, hold on to the magic of yourself and your belief in the fact that you totally, absolutely deserve wonderful, magical things when it comes to career, love, anything else on the table. Um, so, my kind of final guidance, I'm going to pull one card, see if I can stick to, yep, one card. Ace of Cups, yeah. New beginnings on all fronts. New beginnings when it comes to love, new beginnings when it comes to your manifestations and dreams, new beginnings when it comes to your career. Things are going to be so much better in 3 months, but you do have to kind of buckle in and kind of work through this energy and sit through the pinch, honestly. And the universe will have your back. And on the other side, you are going to be doing so much better just across the board, but specifically when it comes to your career. Anyways, my dears, this is my reading for you. If you enjoyed it, if it felt helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps this channel to grow. If you have any questions or insights or comments, you know where to leave those. Also, if you would like a specific reading, you can pop that in the comments as well, and I will incorporate that in a future reading. Anyways, my loves, many blessings. I know this was a difficult reading, but I have faith in you being able to make it through, and also the fact that on the other side, so much more is possible. Anyways, many blessings, my love. Bye.